This isn't abuse, but it still hurts. You're not in a screaming match. There's no name calling, no slammed doors, no obvious deal breakers. On the surface, your relationship looks fine, maybe even good. They're not a bad person. They say they love you. And sometimes in fleeting moments, you feel it. But deep down, there's a quiet ache, a nagging feeling that something's not right. You're not abused, but you're not thriving either. You're just existing. And somehow that hurts worse. Have you ever lain awake at night, replaying a moment that felt off? Maybe it was the way they brushed off your excitement about a promotion, or how they forgot to check in after you poured your heart out. Maybe it's the silence that stretches too long between their texts, or the way you feel like you're always chasing their attention, never quite catching it. You tell yourself it's not a big deal. They didn't mean to hurt you. They're just busy, stressed, or not good at emotions. But the truth is, you're carrying a weight you can't quite name, a slow drip of disappointment that's eroding your joy. These are the quiet red flags, the ones we don't talk about because they don't scream toxic or run, but they're just as dangerous because they chip away at your heart until you're left questioning your worth. If you're wondering whether it's time to walk away, this is for you. I'm going to help you see the signs you've been ignoring, face the denial that's keeping you stuck, and find the strength to choose yourself. Because sometimes the bravest thing you can do is let go. Not because it's dramatic, but because you deserve a love that feels like home. The slow erosion of joy and trust. Let me tell you about Alex. He was 31, a software engineer with a dry sense of humor and a quiet kindness that drew people in. When he came to me for coaching, he was 6 months into a relationship with Lily, a free-spirited artist who lit up every room she entered. Their early days were electric. Late-night talks about their dreams, impromptu road trips, stolen kisses in the rain. Alex felt like he'd found someone who saw the world differently, who made him feel alive. But as the months went on, something shifted. Lily's spontaneity started to feel like flakiness. She'd cancel plans last minute, citing inspiration or needing space. Alex would spend evenings waiting for her to show up, only to get a vague text hours later. "So sorry, got caught up." When he tried to talk about it, she'd laugh it off, saying, "You're so serious, Alex, just go with the flow." He'd smile, but inside, he felt dismissed, like his needs were an inconvenience. Then there were the little moments that stung. Alex would share something vulnerable, like his stress about a work deadline, and Lily would change the subject, or worse, make it about her own struggles. When he planned a special dinner for her birthday, she showed up an hour late, barely apologizing. "I'm just not great with schedules," she'd say, and Alex would nod, convincing himself he was being too rigid. But each time, a piece of his trust eroded. He stopped sharing his big moments because he knew they'd be met with indifference. He stopped planning dates because he couldn't bear the disappointment of her flaking again. The breaking point came when Alex realized he didn't feel happy anymore. He wasn't angry or betrayed, just empty. "I love her," he told me, his voice cracking. "She's not a bad person, but I feel like I'm losing myself trying to make this work." Alex was still in the relationship, grappling with whether to stay or go. But his story was a mirror for so many. A relationship that wasn't blatantly toxic, but was quietly draining his light. He was holding on to someone who wasn't truly in, and it was costing him his joy. Why do we stay in relationships that don't feel good? It's not because we're weak or foolish. It's because we're human. Our hearts and minds are wired to hold on even when it hurts. Let's break down the reasons why. When fear of being alone. Deep down, many of us fear that letting go means facing an empty future. What if no one else comes along? What if this is the best we'll ever get? This fear is especially strong if you've invested a lot of time, or if you're in a stage of life where it feels like everyone is coupled up. But staying with someone who doesn't truly show up for you isn't love, it's settling out of fear. 2. Sunk cost fallacy. You've given so much, months, years, tears, effort. Walking away feels like admitting defeat, like all that investment was for nothing. You think, if I just try a little harder, it will get better. But love isn't a stock market. You don't get a return by pouring more into a losing bet. Your time and energy are worth more than that. 3. Hope addiction. Hope is a powerful drug. Those fleeting moments when they're kind, attentive, or loving, they keep you hooked. You cling to the good days, convincing yourself they're a sign of what could be. But hope without consistent action is just a story you're telling yourself. Real love doesn't live in potential, it lives in reality. 4. The myth of not that bad. When a relationship isn't outright abusive, it's easy to minimize the pain. You tell yourself, they're not cheating, they're not yelling, it's not that bad. But not that bad isn't the same as good. You deserve more than a relationship that's just tolerable. You deserve one that makes you feel seen, valued, and alive. Childhood patterns. If you grew up in a home where love was inconsistent or hard won, you might have learned to equate love with struggle. Maybe a parent was emotionally distant and you spent your childhood chasing their approval. Now, as an adult, you're drawn to partners who replicate that dynamic. It feels familiar, even if it's painful. Recognizing this pattern is the first step to breaking it. The truth is, staying isn't always about love. It's about fear, habit, or a story you've told yourself about what you deserve. But you can rewrite that story. You can choose to walk away from what's dimming your light and toward what lifts you up. Signs, the subtle ways someone shows they're not truly in. Quiet red flags are easy to miss because they don't wave in your face. They creep in, slowly eroding your confidence and peace. Here are the subtle signs it's time to walk away. One day inconsistent. One day they're all in planning dates, sending sweet texts, making you feel like you're their world. The next they're distant, vague, or just gone. This hot and cold behavior keeps you on edge, always guessing where you stand. Consistency is the foundation of trust. If they can't show up reliably, they're not in. 2. Your needs are an inconvenience. When you express a need, more communication, more quality time, more respect, they make you feel like you're asking for too much. They might say, "You're so sensitive," or "I'm doing my best." Your needs aren't excessive. They're the bare minimum for a healthy relationship. If they can't meet them, they're not ready for you. 3. You feel invisible. You share your joys, your fears, your dreams, and they barely engage. They change the subject, offer half-hearted responses, or turn the conversation back to themselves. You start censoring yourself because you know they won't really listen. A partner who's truly in sees you, hears you, and makes space for your heart. You're always chasing. You're the one initiating plans, texts, or emotional check-ins. If you stopped reaching out, you're not sure they'd notice. Love shouldn't feel like a one-sided chase. A partner who's in meets you halfway, not because you beg them to, but because they want to. 5. You feel smaller, not bigger. A good relationship makes you feel expansive, stronger, braver, more yourself. But in this one, you feel like you're shrinking. You question your worth, your choices, your value. If being with them dims your light, that's a sign they're not the right person for you. 6, your gut is whispering. You might not have a reason to leave, but your intuition is telling you something's off. Maybe it's a tightness in your chest when they cancel plans again, or a quiet sadness when you're together. Your gut is your compass. Trust it, even if your head is still making excuses. Check in with yourself, take a moment to reflect, ask yourself, how do I feel after spending time with them? Energized or drained? Do I feel safe being my full, authentic self, or am I editing myself to keep the peace? Am I holding on to hope for who they could be, or am I accepting who they are right now? Write down your answers. Be honest. These questions will help you see the truth you've been avoiding. Empowerment. Leaving isn't giving up. It's choosing yourself. Walking away from a relationship that's not serving you isn't failure. It's courage. It's not giving up on love. It's choosing a love that honors your worth. Here's how to find the strength to let go. 1. Acknowledge the pain. Denial keeps you stuck. Admit to yourself that this relationship isn't what you deserve. It's okay to grieve the good moments, the hopes you had, the person you wanted them to be. But don't let those moments blind you to the truth. Write a letter to yourself about why you're hurting and what you need to feel whole. You don't have to send it, just let it out. 2. Reframe the story. You're not losing them, you're gaining yourself. You're not abandoning hope, you're redirecting it toward a future that's brighter. Try this affirmation. I am choosing myself because I deserve a love that feels good. Repeat it daily, especially when doubt creeps in. 3. Set a boundary, not a wall. If you're not ready to end things completely, start with a boundary. For example, I need us to communicate more consistently. If that's not possible, I have to rethink what's best for me. This gives them a chance to step up while protecting your heart. If they can't meet your boundary, that's your sign to walk away. Lean on your people. You don't have to do this alone. Call a friend, talk to a therapist, or join a support group. Surround yourself with people who remind you of your worth. They'll help you see what you're worth when you're too close to the situation to see it yourself. 5. Take one brave step. You don't have to have it all figured out. Just take one step toward letting go. Maybe it's a conversation. I've been feeling like my needs aren't being met, and I need to take space to figure out what's best for me. Maybe it's going no contact for a week to clear your head, or maybe it's walking away for good. Whatever it is, do it with kindness for them and for yourself. 6. Rebuild your relationship with yourself. After you walk away, focus on you. Rediscover what makes you light up. Hobbies, friends, dreams you've put on hold. Treat yourself with the love you were giving them. Try this. Each day, do one thing that makes you feel alive. Whether it's a walk in nature, a new book, or a long bath. You're not just healing, you're reclaiming your joy. Leaving isn't about punishing them or proving a point. It's about honoring yourself. It's saying, I love you, but I love myself too much to stay in something that dims my light. You're not walking away from love. You're walking toward a better version of it. Take a deep breath and let this land. You don't have to stay in a relationship that's stealing your joy. You don't have to keep pouring your heart into someone who's not truly in. The quiet red flags, the missed plans, the dismissed feelings, the constant chase are telling you something. Listen to them. They're guiding you toward a truth you've been afraid to face. You deserve more. Picture a version of you who trusts your gut, who walks away from what doesn't serve you, who knows that love isn't supposed to hurt. That version of you is already here, waiting for you to step into her strength. She's not afraid of being alone because she knows her own company is enough. She's not scared of letting go because she knows it's the only way to make room for what's meant for her. So here's your call to action. Today, notice one quiet red flag you've been ignoring. Name it, write it down. Then ask yourself, what would it look like to choose myself in this moment? Maybe it's a conversation. Maybe it's space. Maybe it's walking away for good. Whatever it is, do it with love for them, but mostly for you, because you are worthy of a love that feels like safety, like growth, like home. Don't settle for anything less.